Hello, dear friends of La Salon de la Musique. It's Francesco Comito here, and tonight we are going to talk with a really gifted artist, really talented pianist, and he is Russian American, and his name is Vladislav Kern. He's really young, and now we will have the opportunity to ask him some question. Hello, Vlad. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm so happy you are here. You are a new entry in the Salon de la Musique. I always believed in your talent, so I wanted so much that you play on for the Salon de la Musique. So, Vladik, please tell me, how are you? Where are you now?
I'm actually very excited to be uh, doing this. It's finally appearing in front of some audience since the beginning of quarantine. I'm in Russia currently. All the borders are closed. I couldn't even come back to the US. My last concerts were in Europe, so I'm kind of stuck here, but I'm practicing every day. I'm creating music. I have actually more time to practice right now than ever. Things are going great for me. Yeah.
So, but do you know when you will be able to come back in America? I am asking you because also I need to go to to US and I cannot go actually because borders are closed. Do you have any news also for me?
Well, that's the thing. I don't have a clear idea when it's going to happen. I hope it's going to be soon because the situation is starting to be like a scary little bit, but I think that it's going to happen in summer. That's what I hope for.
You know, I have
already,
my
yeah, I already
I
got a
have
couple of my concerts rescheduled for the autumn, and I hope that everything planned will happen as it should. Yeah.
you know I have my interview for the visa for America in 16th of September. So I think that maybe I will be able to go in America if will be okay at the beginning of October. I don't know, but so I think it's really strange, this situation. We don't know what can happen every day. Changes. Things can change every second. We don't know what can happen. But tell me, you told me that you had to postpone some of your concerts in autumn. What about this situation? How do you feel not being able to perform on stage?
Yeah, actually, it doesn't feel really great. Uh, I'm a performing artist, and it's like my life was being taken from me. But I know that it's for greater good. Everyone needs to hold up now and just live through it. But it doesn't really feel great. But once again, I hope for the best, and I know that we will get through it. And after we will, I'm gonna be really excited to play my first concert after the quarantine.
In
Also,
fact,
this
but
year was supposed to be a Beethoven year, and I was
Mhm.
supposed to play a very big project in the Virginia Arts Festival. It's sadly postponed now for uncertain time. I was going to play the Beethoven Hammer Clavier and Kreutzer Sonata and Beethoven Symphonies. I hope that I'll be able to do it after this
But
situation is
don't
going to end.
forget that your next concert is next week. You're going to play next week
Yeah,
for
I
La
know.
Salon de la Musique. So your next concert is will be really soon. So
Yeah,
what
July
about
2nd.
this?
Please,
Is
everyone, go listen to my concert. It's going to be great. I'm going to play Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata and Bellini's Norma. It's two of my favorite pieces right now that I'm playing, and I'm very happy to share it with you.
But why don't you play Hammer Clavier? Would be great. I already know how you play this Hammer Clavier, so and I know that you play wonderfully. So you should play another concert playing only the Hammer Clavier for the Salon de la Musique. So, but why
Yeah,
did
it
you
would be
choose to
great. Yeah,
play Moonlight Sonata and not Hammer Clavier?
it just feels like I don't know. I just feel to play Moonlight Sonata now that it fits the situation better. Hammer Clavier is more cheerful piece. It's more.
Si bemol
Um,
maggiore.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the main piece is that this time I wanted to show a range. I wanted to play at least two pieces, and because all my repertoire is very long, all the pieces that I'm playing are kind of long, and I'm just preparing the best stuff to show my range. Yeah,
But tell me, when was the last time you were playing on stage?
it was in Europe just a couple of days before the beginning of all of this craziness. It was in Brno. I played the Hammer Clavier there actually, together with Moonlight Sonata, and I also played their Chopin etudes. It was a very exciting concert.
How many
Um,
etudes? Sorry, after Hammer Clavier.
I played
Uh,
Opus 10. Yeah, I played
you
Opus
you
10 and I played.
you're totally crazy. How can you play Opus 10 after such a great big piece, huge piece of like Hammer Clavier? It's impossible. Where do you
Well,
find
I
this
love to
strength?
play. I love to challenge myself, and I love to play some gigantic pieces because people usually don't really do it now very often. And the reason I chose the repertoire for my last concert it was because I played all my favorite composers and their major works, like their most famous works. For Liszt, it's for sure B minor sonata. It's the best piece he wrote. This time I'm just trying to be more entertaining for
Mhm.
July 2nd.
But tell me, Vlad, I want to know something. I want that you tell something about you to our subscribers. Tell me when you started to be a musician, when you decided you wanted to be a musician, to be a pianist. Why did you choose to play piano?
Well, it's been in my family for centuries. Actually, I came from the families of musicians. I started to play piano uh, at the age of 3 or something like that. I don't even remember time when I didn't play piano. When I wasn't a musician, it was always my great passion, and I was born in Moscow. I started at the Central Music School at the great Tchaikovsky Conservatory, and I always had a greatest teachers. I'm very thankful for the life I have and the abilities and my techniques is only because of the teachers I've been studied. I was studying with and the places I went. I'm always thankful for people who listen to my music because mainly the music is created always live. That's what I believe in. It's that for art, the people who see it and who listen to it, the observers, are more important than performers, even because the music is born in my heart and it's being transcribed through my fingers to their ears. So
Fantastic. But tell me, Vladik, so you said that you were studying in Moscow, that you were born in Moscow, but I know that you also live in America.
yeah.
I want to ask you, uh, what was your experience studying in public school in US? Was it different from Russian public school? How did you deal with language barrier?
Well, it was kind of difficult from the beginning, but when I got into it, it was pretty much the same. Only the only difference is basically that in the US you have to do more writing, also in music, more analysis, and it gives you a better understanding of music. But I'm also very happy that I started in Moscow because European school gives you an ability to be an artist, and the US, the school in the US, their main idea is for you to gain a better understanding of music. So both of these features I've gained, they work great in collaboration. The differences are okay. What are the biggest two differences? The main thing is that in Russia, the kids starts to play like they have to choose their profession very early.
Mm-hmm.
It came from our ideology that since you are a child, you need to know who you are going to become as an adult. So I started playing music, as I said, very early at the age of 3, and I didn't see many kids in US doing this. It's more like I think the youngest pianists are Russians, Italians, and Chinese who are actually starting to play pretty young. In US, they gain their understanding only in college. They can choose their profession at the age of 18, and I didn't understand that from the beginning. But I think also it got its own idea. They have their own meaning of it, and I respect it. But I'm very happy that I started doing my profession since a very early age because it became my life. My profession is basically what I'm living for.
But you know, also here in Italy, I'm telling you about because also I am Italian and I can talk because it's also my experience. I started to play really when I was a baby, 3 years old. But I noticed that in Italy, kids they start to play piano not because you should you see the talent in the kid, you understand me, and after you decide that this kid should be a professional musician, so you teach him in a professional way. You is a different story, you understand me. In Russia, as you say, when you are a kid, if your teacher sees in the kid this the talent to be a musician, there is a different way also of teaching, because sometimes in Italy, when a kid is starting to play piano, starts because it's a beautiful hobby. um, Also they go to play football, they go to play basketball, to dance, or to do something else, and they don't start to practice, also to study music professionally. This happened a little bit later. But what do you think about? Do you think that is really important to start when you are a kid to study professionally,
Well, the
or
thing
should be
that
a game?
yeah, uh, what I think is that there are no universal way of becoming an artist. It's for everyone have their own way of becoming the musician and choosing their profession and becoming good in it. I think that Russians in general are tough. That's why Russian teachers are more pushy in this kind of way. But I never was playing music because I had to. It was always my choice. I was very lucky that my will was the same as my teachers who seen talent in me, and I always had time for my hobbies as well. I just spend less time doing them. Right now, when I'm already grown up and I don't have to be in school every day, at least not in summer.
Mhm.
I'm currently studying at the Juilliard, and it takes a lot of time. But still, I do have, and I always have time for hobbies. I'm always going to the gym. I love sports. I'm playing golf. I'm playing soccer. In Russia, it's a very popular game. I'm also, I don't think that this qualifies for a hobby because I'm doing it more professionally. I'm also writing. This is actually the first book I've ever written. It's a
No.
poetry.
Please
It's in Russian.
show to the camera, please. We want to see near
Sure.
to the camera. We want to read what is written here. I
Okay,
cannot read.
it's my name spelled in Russian, and
Yeah,
there is a name of a book. Its name is
21.
21, as because there are 21 chapters in this book.
And why did you choose this name? Because there are 21 chapters, but I think there is some. I would
Yeah.
say.
Also, 21 is a big number for a boy in the US. It's actually when you become an adult. And last August, I turned 21, and I want to celebrate it somehow. So I didn't know how am I going to celebrate it, and I want to celebrate it big. So when last time I went to Russia for my concerts, it was during the New Year, and I just got so influenced by the differences in culture, and I got a lot of inspirations from that particular travel of mine, and I decided to celebrate me becoming an adult in the US, 21, by writing a book. It's not only because of chapters; it's also my age.
But is it possible to find it somewhere in, I don't know, Amazon or
Yeah, it's
some
going to be
Kindle?
premiered in 2 weeks. I'm going to do the presentation, the first presentation in Russia this Sunday. Uh, because of the quarantine's crazy rules, everyone must be in masks, and the audience is going to be really small. But I'm still very happy to do this. I'm going to read it for them and just introduce what this book is about. And in general, this book is about me feeling a lot of stuff going around me, around my music travels. It's basically my life around me being a pianist.
But would be translated also in another languages. I've seen it in Russian. This book will be also in English.
Yes, I'm going to do this in October. I already contacted a great journalist, Tatiana Bordina. She's a great friend of mine. We're going to do this together. Even though I'm also writing poetry in English, but I think I really need someone with experience because my Russian is my first language, and
Of
I know
course,
it
it's.
much better than than any other language I speak.
But do you write also songs?
Yes, I do. The last two songs I wrote it was for the Juilliard, the school that I'm studying in now. It was one of them was in Schubert style. It was for a composition project. Another one I just wanted to write it, and it was played at the concert near Juilliard. It was 15 composers, each of them presenting their best work of this year. So I wanted to present it. It was
So you're
about
writing also the music. You
yeah,
write the
yeah, of
music and the
course.
words.
I did write a poetry and music for it for sure. Yeah, because at Juilliard there's always a great possibility for you to grow in different aspects. It's the program is very wide. The stuff that you are getting. Um, so I was trained as a professional composer as well. I composed a string quartet and two piano sonatas this year. So I'm pretty excited about it.
But
I've
why
also
don't you
spent a
play
lot
for
of
us
time on
this
it.
music? Why don't you play for us this music?
Well, I think that I'm not as great. My compositions are not as good as Beethoven's and Liszt's,
but
unfortunately.
but this have to say it the public. Maybe also Beethoven was saying, this sonata is not good, and try to the or for example, Smetana took his
Yeah,
a part of his sonata, threw it on in the Moldava, in the river, because I'm talking about Janacek sonata. Sorry,
yeah,
I the mistake. Janacek sonata I'm talking about. He took this a part of the score, one movement of the score actually, and threw it in the river. And so why don't you
yeah.
play
I
for
mean, the
restaurator music?
composers, yeah, the composers are always have to criticize themselves, otherwise they wouldn't become great composers. So my first appearance, uh, I just feel more comfortable to play other works. When is going to be my second time
Yes, of course.
playing for you? I'm going to
You
perform my works for sure. I promise.
Yes, this absolutely. You must. I'm very curious. I want to listen your piano sonatas. You said uh, that you must be critic uh, with your music, but also Rachmaninoff. Even though he wrote such incredible music, there was somebody that said, I don't like this music. I'm talking about his first symphony or Beethoven. Somebody didn't understand his music because his music was going, two centuries ahead, beyond, and so
Yeah,
music
I know
is
about this
always.
situation. Rachmaninoff had a really great crisis after receiving a bad critics about his piece. But fortunately for us, he got over it. And actually, he dedicated his second concerto to the man who got him out of this depression.
Mhm.
So, this kind of troubles with accepting your music is also part of every composer's way. So I think it's just in my future. Some of the pieces I wrote, I'm very happy to present. Some of them, I think I still need to work on them before the public hears it. Yeah.
But which are the composers you feel most connected with, that you feel
Well,
more near to your heart?
even though my favorite composers are Franz Liszt, Frédéric Chopin, and Ludwig van Beethoven, I compose in a style which is more close to Scriabin or
Mhm.
Shostakovich. I really love their compositions, and I just think that nowadays their music fits better. To compose in their music gives you some point to go somewhere where others never been. Like you always need to create new sounds. Your style has to be unique, but the thing is that always you have someone who influence you. So for me, it's Scriabin and Shostakovich for sure. But I think names like Beethoven and Liszt are too great to even try to compose in their styles or anything near it, because they're in the past, and their creations and even their styles shouldn't be touched in any way. Only for fun. For fun, I love to imitate their styles. The last concert in US I gave, the second half of the concert was only improvisation. I asked audience members to give me two themes that I had to improvise in different styles. I loved it. I totally for this
This
idea,
also
and in
Liszt was
general,
doing, Beethoven was doing this, it's incredible. I would not be able to do it, It's, uh,
actually, I think you can. Everyone pretty much can. The problem with modern education is that this is not part of the academic studies. You are not being told how to improvise in school, and it's pretty sad because every skill has to be developed, and you wouldn't even be able to walk if your parents wouldn't teach you how to walk. I mean, you always have to have some example
yes,
that
of
you
course.
can follow.
Also, for example, jazz player, they don't improvise, like this. But they
I
know there are many rules how to improvise in a jazz style,
Yeah, I was
organ
very lucky to have a
improvisation,
yeah.
for it.
I was very lucky to have a great teacher, improvisation teacher, Novan Sivam. He's a Jewish pianist and composer. He went to teach at the Juilliard for a couple of years, and I was able to study with him. We were doing solo improvisation, improvisation in groups, like a chamber music improvisation, and that's the hardest, but also the most fun you can get. Connecting with people when you're improvising, and also another great feature of any improvised work is that it's unique. You can't repeat in improvisation. So you can't use even patterns, the same patterns every time you play. So every improvisation is so unique, and it's born on stage, and people loves it because the music. They see how the music is created, and I'm always very happy to give this kind of feeling to the people who listen to me.
I want to ask you, who inspired in your musical life? I mean, for example, some painter or some writer or some musician. Who inspired you? Who gives you inspiration? Sometime, for example, you read some book or some poem, you say, "Oh, now I got the inspiration to play Beethoven, this particular Beethoven sonatas."
Yeah, I understand you. So the thing is that basically, if you really need to have a motivation, you don't have to have a motivation. You know what I'm talking about. But in general, always, of course, you can find some influencer who you can look up to. But I'm always trying not to follow someone's steps, but just to look for their example of them being unique and repeat themselves in this way of being unique myself. From the people who really inspired me as a pianist was Van Cliburn, great
Hmm.
pianist who unfortunately passed away several years ago. I was very lucky to meet him alive. He was a great person, just incredible person and musician. And also, of course, Sergei Rachmaninoff. I was growing up listening to his music, to his playing. It's actually the only composer who was one of the greatest composers ever who recorded his music himself. I mean, like, of course, Prokofiev did it as well, and other great
We have Brahms
composers
just a
recorded
little bit,
also.
a very, very bad recording.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this recording of Johannes Brahms. Here
Mhm.
we have two questions for you from our dear friends of Le Salon, Ivan and Alex, as usual. They are always here. Did you ever play Sonata in B minor by Liszt? Of course, we have also an amazing recording of you. We are going to uh, broadcast on the Salon de la Musique. But do you like this sonata more than other sonatas? Is your favorite sonata?
Yeah. Actually, I was pretty much scared starting learning this piece because it's it's not hard to play. It's hard to live through it.
Mhm.
It's hard not to show up, but instead to completely get into his music and understand it through your own experience. And because Liszt didn't even left a proper story behind this sonata. For example, when I played Dante Sonata by Liszt, I knew exactly what this piece is about. I
The
knew the
plot.
story behind it, and it was much easier to interpret it for yourself. But with Liszt, you always have to relive this piece every time you play it, and every time you play it is different. It's one of the best compositions ever written for piano, and it's for sure the best piece that Liszt wrote.
And here we have our dear Alex that is asking you, do you like to play chamber music?
Yes, I love playing in chamber music. It's always great to find interaction with the other people without even saying a word. You can understand them through music, and it's really incredible that in this way music really shows itself as a language without words, but still a language which you can understand, because music is language of feeling. It's not really logical, it's more emotional. There's, of course, there's logic in every emotion, but you can better get understanding of mood of a person when you're playing with him rather than talking to him, because when you're playing music you can't lie. uh,
Exactly.
and yeah, yeah,
Also, you have to find a compromise. There is no way that you will say, this is how should be played this piece, and that's it. To play together,
yeah,
it's really good. It's really beautiful experiences, an amazing experience. Also, because you grow up as a musician, because you start to listen yourself and listen to the other, and
yeah. It's
it's really
like to have
important.
a conversation with Socrates. You are not trying to be right, you are trying to find the truth. And when you are able to achieve this in chamber music, that's when the piece is ready for a performance.
And
Sometimes with some people who have a really uh, big respect for themselves rather than to others, it's hard to do. But there's always a way you can work with other musicians. It's not even about compromise. It's like I said, for me, finding a truth, the truest interpretation for your group. The truth, you need to find that true interpretation for this particular concert performance and musicians who are playing in this group. For example, when I played 3 years ago in no, it was actually I think 2 years ago. I did play trio by Rachmaninoff with two musicians which didn't speak either Russian or English,
amazing.
and it was yeah, it was actually very funny to connect with them uh, only through music. And I think it's the truest experience of all when you only have the only language you all are connected with is music. Yeah.
Here, our dear Alex is asking you also. So you have a chamber group that you usually play with. Are there any recordings?
Yeah. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. I didn't ever been in a chamber group for long. Usually, the longest time I've been in chamber group it was for 3 years. It was during my studies at junior pre-college division. It was with a boy from Russia. He was also from Russia. It was once again, do consider a duo as a chamber group. If you do, then I was playing in chamber group for 2 years. We played a lot of Beethoven sonatas. We played Prokofiev sonatas. What else did we play? We played Greek sonata, and I don't even remember. We played a lot of pieces, and in the end, when I already had to leave Juilliard, it was my 3 last years at the pre-college, and we knew each other, um, like me and the other boy, very well. We were great friends. We didn't even talk outside the chamber music class, but we knew each other a lot because each of us could feel another just by hearing what we are playing. We could already understand how our days been, how the life of ours is, and the situation. Like whether we are in good mood or in bad mood, we could already hear it one for another. But the thing is that after that, I had to leave already, but I still was very happy to leave because I was going to be studying in Imola Piano Academy with Boris Petrushansky. It was great time. I am really thankful for everything he've done for me as for a musician. And once again, I am again very happy to come back to Juilliard because it's like my second home right now. Yeah,
But did you
currently I'm studying with
finish?
Yukavat Kaplinsky, by the way. She's a great teacher, great person. Basically, as I already said, every teacher I was lucky to study with is one of the best teachers living now. Yeah.
But did you finish to study in Imola, or you still continuing to go, to Italy to have some lesson?
For now, I've pressed on
Considering the
pause.
situation
Yeah,
now, it's
yeah.
difficult.
For now, I have a pause in the relationship between me and Accademia Pianistica in Imola. I finished 2 years there, and I felt that I needed to come back to States. It was just my feeling. It was not about me leaving Imola forever. Of course, I'm going to return there, and I'm looking forward to it very much. But for now, my heart lays in the US, where unfortunately I can't live right now. But yeah.
I also felt the same situation. I was staying in Imola for many years, and now fortunately, I mean, if everything will be okay with this pandemic, with this situation, I will be able also to go and live for some year in the States, in Dallas. And Vladik, I want to ask you a last question. If you would
Mhm.
not be a pianist, which instrument would you play and why?
I would probably be a singer because, in general, every musician needs to try to imitate a voice, as Sergei Rachmaninoff said. Um, Voice is the purest of all instruments because singers can create music without any other additional instruments or any additional objects. They can just create it with their own body. And I'm very much attracted to the voice and how it can create a melody just a cappella. Is great. Also, I love to accompany some singers. Always, if any of my friends who are studying voice at the Juilliard asks me to accompany them, I'm doing it with great joy. It's actually singers being also in my family. My great grandmother was a great singer. I even have a photos of her. I prepared a little bit for this interview. Here are two pictures of her. she had a pleasure playing with Sergei Rachmaninoff himself. He was
Amazing.
accompanying her.
Amazing, but you should, put near the camera. But it's better because
Yes.
the quality is not so
Okay,
good.
so in this picture, this picture was taken on stage while she was performing in opera Rusalka. It was This picture is actually super unique. It's been
You
for
know
my
what you can do?
family.
You know what you can do?
For
You can take a picture with your
Yeah.
phone, post it on Facebook, and tag Le Salon de la Musique, so our subscriber will be able to see. Maybe write some description on it.
For
Well, it's
sure.
really 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 interesting because actually now it's really difficult to see the picture, but I
Mhm.
especially want to enjoy and see because it looks really really old
Ye-
picture. So there is a very interesting story inside this
Yes,
picture.
of course. I mean, I have tons of stories in my family because once again, we were always musicians, like as far as we can track our uh, like a family tree. For example, the mother of my great grandmother was a great pianist, and she was a friend with Petr Ilyich Tchaikovsky. He even dedicated a couple of pieces for her. I have tons of stories about my family. They were not always pianists, but they played different music instruments, just a great amount of different instruments. For example, my great grandfather was a great oboe player, and uh, even he got a medal of honor from Russian president for giving a great influence in music in Russia.
We should have an interview with you only talk about these stories because it's really really interesting. Nowadays we only focus on social medias, but it's really rare that we have the opportunity to see one photo like this one and can talk about the story that there is behind. So, Vladik, thank you very much. I'm really so excited that you are going to play for Le Salon de la Musique. For sure, we will have another opportunity to talk with you, to have another live chat.
Mhm.
And also, I want to remind to our friends that our dear Vladik is going to play next week, 2nd of July, 8 p.m. Italian time. And there is the link in the description where you can make a donation. This is really important because a musician, they work so hard, they put all their life in this hour of concert, they put all their experience and their love, their passion for music, and they want to share with you. So it's really important that you support our talented artists, and also you can support Les Salons de la Musique by subscribing to our Patreon channel, and you can have many benefits. For example, our Telegram service, but for those they don't know what is classical music, they want to start to know what is classical music, but they don't know where to start because the repertoire is huge. We will sing for you. We will sing for you, and we will send you every morning as link, YouTube link or Facebook link where you can listen to a particular piece of music, and a small description, a small telegram where there is the juice of the um, this particular piece. So after 365 days, you will know new 365 piece of classical music. This is an incredible deal, I think. So thank you very much, Vladik. Thanks to
Yeah.
all of our friends of Le Salon de la Musique. We are waiting for you for the next concert that is 28th of June. Mikhail Beresnev is going to play for us. Don't forget it. And after there will be the concert of Vladislav Kern, 2nd of June. Don't forget it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Спокойной ночи.